Hello boys and girls, and welcome to the preview and predicted lineup for the FA Cup tie, Southampton against Arsenal. And potential tricky one this, if we want to be able to keep defending the trophy that we won only a few months ago. And the irony of this is we're playing Southampton away on Tuesday in the Premier League as well. So it's kind of a double header, but this game will be very, very different to the Premier League. And I feel that both teams will probably have their eye on Tuesday's game. Not saying that this one's not important, but that one is the bigger of the two. So team lineups is going to be very, very interesting. Not just from Arsenal's point of view, but Southampton's. Now, they only got through a few days ago after beating Shrewsbury. Because obviously, you know, the original game was called off because of COVID and everything else. So they had to have that game. And they won that game 2-0. But it wasn't as easy as the scoreline may suggest. There were some difficult moments in there. Their team was very, very much changed. And they had to bring in some of the more experienced players to get them over the line at the end. Ward-Prowse in particular scoring a goal in the last minute of that game. So team lineups will be interesting, because what you need to look at is that, you know, Arsenal will have, let's say, a second string side, a team that's not normally in the Premier League. But Southampton can't look at that and think, all right, that means we can go with such a weak side like we did against Shrewsbury, for example. They will have to look at it and say, that's still a strong side. That's still some really, you know, strong players in there. And Mikel Arteta, when playing in this competition normally, has gone quite strong. And he's thrown in a few players that have left you sitting there thinking, ooh, it's a bit of a shock, that one. If you think of the last round against Newcastle, the likes of Tierney and that started the game, and you were like, yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. So yeah, don't be surprised if there's a few faces in our starting 11 that leaves you thinking, oh, is that a bit of a gamble, especially with Tuesday in mind, etc., etc. But I feel that we need that bit of experience in there, as well as the youth and everything else. But we do ultimately need to, you know, rotate accordingly, because Tuesday in mind, big game. And, you know, one of the interesting things about this when you're playing Southampton is that there's this talk about St Mary's being Arsenal's bogey ground. It's a place that we don't want to go to. We don't like playing at. But looking at our previous results and everything, we've actually only lost one game in our last 5 visits to St Mary's. The awful run where this has all come from stems right back to 2015 and before that. But we've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1 in those 5 games. The one that we lost was a 3-2 defeat. But one of those victories was also an FA Cup tie in 2017. And we won that game 5-0. Very good game. And there was also a game in the Premier League that I didn't manage to get to. I'm sure you will all remember the vlog that I did for that day. It was snowing and I couldn't get there, and then it ended up with me running down the street in the middle of the snow because Olivier Giroud had just scored with 10 minutes or so to go, something like that. I can't remember, but it was madness. But yeah, we're not going to be worrying about getting to the stadium because obviously we can't go. But yeah, I don't think we need to worry too much in a sense of this record, because like I was saying, it's kind of a bit of a myth. It was more 5 years ago and beyond that we had the awful record at St Mary's. Looking at our record from 2015 and before that, in 5 games at St Mary's, we'd lost 3 and drew 2. So we didn't even win a single game in that 5. So that is very telling that the first 5 were 3 defeats and 2 draws. And then the next 5, right up to the present time, are 3 victories, 1 draw and 1 defeat. So it bodes well in that respect. But we cannot take this game for granted. And team lineup, like I said, is going to be very, very important. And for this game, this is kind of what I will go with. And not just what I will go with, but what I feel, Mikel Arteta will do. Starting off in goal, Leno. Now, this is one of the decisions that Mikel has to make. And I know a lot of people would like to maybe see Leno, get a break. And we can't afford him to get rested or injured or whatever it might be. But we need to play him. Because there's no way Alex Runarsson is playing in goal. Oh, no. Absolutely no chance. Now, in defence, we're going to stick with a back 4. And I do believe we're still going to go with a 4-2-3-1 formation that's working now. In the right back position, this is where there's a bit of a debate. I'm going to go with Cedric. Reason being is that he's not played a lot of football at all. So would it be difficult for him to play this game and then play on Tuesday? Remember, former Southampton player, should be really up for the game. I actually don't think it would be that difficult, to be honest, given the fact he's not played a lot of football. That's what I would go with. Right centre-back, David Luiz. Mustafi gets absolutely nowhere near this team. It's very clear that his time at Arsenal is done. Don't put him in there. Absolutely no chance. And I said this months ago about Mustafi. Don't play for Arsenal again. End of story. I'm going to play David Luiz there. I don't think Callum Chambers will start this game. And he's also a player that I do feel Arsenal are looking to edge out of the door. So I'm going to go with David Luiz. Left centre-back, I'm going to go with Gabriel. Obviously, missed games because of COVID. And from what, we're being told, it's slowly bringing him back in because, the effects of COVID and trying to recover 100% from it is difficult. But this is, the perfect time now. He would have been back in training for a little while now, slowly getting back up to speed with things. And it's the perfect opportunity. Pablo Mari is still not available. So Gabriel will go there. In the left back position, needs must, I feel. And I'm going to go with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I don't really want to put him there, especially after his performance there, a few weeks ago. It was absolutely abysmal. But there's no way I'm risking Kieran Tierney. Just come back from, a slight muscular problem. And maybe that was due to the fact that he did play that Newcastle game. And, we went into extra time and everything else. But I wouldn't be risking him at all. Let him have his rest. And then we go again on Tuesday. So because we've got no one else to go there, it's going to have to be Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Now the 2 in the midfield. First of all, Mohamed El-Neni. Pretty straightforward decision for me. Granit Xhaka will come out of the side. And I'm going to put Mohamed El-Neni in there. Now alongside him, I'm going to go with Thomas Partey. And again, this is one of the players where you might look at and think, is that a risk? To be honest, I don't think so. It's very evident that he's over his injury now. Played 20 minutes. Against Crystal Palace, then played 65, 70 against Newcastle. He needs minutes now. That is the most important thing. He needs minutes to get himself right up to 100%. And that's what we need. Playing him in this for, again, another 65, 70 odd minutes, ready to go into Tuesday. I don't see the problem at all. It's very evident that the injury is dealt with, like I said. With the amount of minutes he's played and the way he's been playing, it's very clear that, there's no effects. So I would, play him in this game, as far as I'm concerned. Best midfielder, partnership with El-Neni could work well, and that's what I'm going to go with. Now, the attacking 3, first of all, on the right-hand side, Nicola Pepe, and he's really got to start stepping up now. He's really got to look at games like this as an opportunity to try and force his way into the team, because right now, he's not going to get in the team. And when you think of how much we paid for him, we can't be having that. So it's a big game for him. And I'm looking to see what he can do. On the left of that 3, I'm going to go with Gabriel Martinelli. And yeah, let's get his season started now. Come back from that long-term injury, and then there's been a couple of, you know, very, very, you know, weird incidents. You think of the Man City game when he came back and he had that whack that had to take him off at half time, and then he gets injured in the warm-up against Newcastle in the FA Cup game, and it's like, let's get him going now. Let's start, you know, integrating him and playing him and everything else. No problems at all. In the middle, number 10, I'm going to go with Willian. I feel that is what Mikel Arteta will go with. I don't think Joe Willock would go in that position. I feel that Mikel would trust Willian more. And if he was to play in anywhere of that three, I would say the 10 rather than right or left. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to get from him. It's a mixed bag, really. We're going to have to wait and see. But I just feel his experience in a young forward line is what Mikel might look at. So that's what I'm going to go with. Up front, as the main striker, Eddie Nketiah. And I don't think Oba or Laka will be risked for this game. They may well be on the bench, just in case. But ultimately, yeah, I don't think that, you know, either of them will be risked. So I look at that as well. And I think, you know, Bellerin, he's not going to come into this game and start. He might get a place within the squad and on the bench. But do I think that he would start ahead of Eddie? No. Again, this is the decision for Mikel Arteta. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. So that is my predicted 1 to 11. Leno, Cedric, Luiz, Gabriel, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Partey and Elneny, Pepe, Willian, Martinelli, and Eddie Nketiah. I think that is a very, very strong lineup, to be honest with you. I think that that's more than capable of getting the job done against Southampton. Interesting to see what lineup they go with. I do think they'll make wholesale changes as well, given the fact that we are playing each other on Tuesday in the Premier League. So it's going to be an interesting game, and it's another chance for us to, you know, get another victory, keep the momentum going, and ultimately defend the trophy that we won. And that's important. So very, very interesting game coming up, that's for sure. So if you're new around it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of it.